Hi there, this is Mark, and I'm doing the reading from the Golden Present, Daily Inspirational Readings by Swami Satchidananda. This is for June 4th. One means no fear. A fearless person is the one who is afraid of God. What is meant by fear of God? Fear of God's law, of the cosmic law. That means you know the cosmic law, what action will bring what result, and you are afraid of doing a wrong action. Fear is created for that purpose. If you keep on doing the right thing, you come to see that you don't need to be afraid of anything. You become fearless. So begin with fear and ultimately become fearless. The fear is necessary. When you go near a flame, you know that it will burn, and you are careful. That is what you call fear. Knowing and staying away from the wrong is what you call fear. The real fearless state is when you see everyone as your own self. When you see yourself and others, you are not afraid of them. And realizing that oneness, you rise above fear totally. As long as there's duality, you are afraid. You are afraid of your own body sometimes, your own mind sometimes, because you see them as different than you. Two means fear. One means no fear. That spiritual oneness is to be recognized. Until then, we are afraid. I remember reading this through the years, and I feel like I have a different understanding of this now. This idea that the purpose for fear is to lead us towards the fearless state. So what Swami Satchidananda is saying is that we'll be bound in this world of duality so long as we continue to see the other as someone who's separate from ourselves. When we see someone as separate from ourselves, we're always going to be worried about, will something be taken from me? Do I need to take something from them? But at some point, if we think about the connection that we all share, the fact that we are all the same components of being, we all long for similar things within the basic needs of survival, and we also long for some sense of value and purpose. So rather than to see these all as separate parts of 8 billion plus separate parts, when we can start to see that there is a connection where we're all one, there's a unified desire, then maybe we will have the ability to become more peaceful beings. And we are, so long as we have the fear, it will always forever be hard to feel safe and to feel peaceful. There's a story that I was just looking at. It's another disciple of Shivananda, Vishnu Devananda. And he flew a plane. Now I actually forget where this was. I need to look this up again. I feel like it was maybe in Germany or and it was a dangerous flight because it was an unprotected air zone. But it was his effort to be able to help establish peace in an area where there was major conflict. And I thought about, wow, what a courageous and almost, insane thing to do. To go into a zone where it's not, there's not supposed to be someone who's, outside of that zone. But he had this sense in him, I suppose, where there was this fearlessness, and it wasn't a worry about, what would happen to the body. It was more of the intention of fearlessly making a statement, and that by doing so, probably surprise people. You're like, how could somebody, do something that's crazy? And it made them stop and have to think. There's a lot of fearlessness that happens when we go protest, when we speak up and we use our voice to say, this is wrong. And I know at some point, and this has even been in myself, where at first I'm like, well, no, what if this happens? And well, this might happen. But then a feeling of being willing to stand in that position that says, I believe that there isn't a separation. What someone else needs, what I need. And so I'm willing to speak up and show that unity, show that oneness, rather than to stay on one side that basically continues to show the separation. It's Pride Month, and I feel like there's so much news going on. But one of the things that I always appreciate that developed from the gay community is, and of course developed even before that, which I don't know the source of, but it's the phrase silence equals death. And that if we sit back or we expect others to do the work, then it's possible that will be part of what extinguishes the cause. But if we can speak up, we can use our voice, we begin to say, we believe in a different world where we're not 8 billion separate people. We believe that we can come together and help support one another. What I believe is that while we do that, we can also come back to being stuck in our own self. We can get back and stuck in our own survival thinking, which is the I, me, mine, where we have to get things to survive or steal things to survive or attack people to survive. And so there's something that can help us. And that's what I know is a mindful practice, a spiritual practice, a creative practice that helps the brain see in a more expansive way. It helps it get unstuck from some of those habitual patterns that are intertwined, possibly in a lot of our ancestral lineages, that are just trying to survive, that are just trying to continue on with the mission within a culture, a race. It's so heartbreaking to continue to see news about what's happening to Palestinians and the occupying of their land. It's very frustrating because it's not this side or that side. It's not like, you're either for the Jews of Israel or you're for the Palestinians of Palestine. I see it even, again, it's back to not the separation and somebody's supposed to win and lose, but that something's inherently broken with the way that we're moving along on this planet, and that it's something that I think can be healed and is being healed, slowly in time. That phrase, slowly, is something we talked about last night in our teacher training, and that it's, to progress on our yoga mats and in our hatha practice. It's not to try to push and force the body to do things that it's not ready for, but to figure out how to maintain a sense of ease through the practice. There's still effort, but how to maintain some ease. And it's in that process that change will happen slowly. And that is what is sustainable and true. These quick jolts to try to make changes oftentimes will want the body to kind of react in a counterproductive way. And I think we're that way too as a people. Too abrupt, too fast, and there might be a counter response that then just keeps going back and forth and back and forth. problem is that patience is a difficult thing for us to go in that slow path, to see slow change. And so out of our impatience, things start to get, we start to get reactive and try to make those changes. It's painful to see harm continue. So it would be wonderful to see that part, if we could just take that out of the equation and then let the other changes slowly happen. So it's, as much to see how we've gotten into the habit of dealing with change and dealing with our own impatience and dealing with our lack of being able to see each other as each other. One day at a time, we practice. We speak about our practice. We do something that can help others practice. And have faith. One means no fear. Wouldn't that be amazing to have a world where that was our guiding principle? Thanks for watching. All right, I'll see you next time.